For lunch today, I am going to cook a roasted tomato with red pepper and basil soup. And this is from the Deliciously Ella book. And for this recipe, you will need 16 large tomatoes, 4 red peppers, 4 tablespoons of dried herbs, and it says I like to use herbs de Provence, rosemary, thyme and oregano, and olive oil for drizzling, 2 large handfuls of fresh basil leaves, 1 400-gram tin of cannellini beans, and I'm actually going to use 2 because we found it thickened the soup a bit more and was quite nice last time we cooked it. 4 tablespoons of tomato puree, 4 mugs of stock or water, and 2 tablespoons of tamari, and then salt and pepper to taste. So this recipe is really simple. The first stage is to cut the 16 large tomatoes into quarters and put them in the baking tray for roasting. The next thing to do is cut the peppers into thick slices. So that's the peppers all cut up and put in a roasting tray. So the next step is to put some olive oil over the tomatoes and peppers and then the herbs. And I'm going to put a tablespoon of thyme over the 2 trays. The same for oregano. And the same for the wild rosemary. And I'll just mix that together, and that can go in the oven for half an hour on 170 degrees Celsius. So I've now got the roasted tomatoes and roasted peppers out of the oven. They've been in for half an hour. So the next step is to put the roasted tomatoes and peppers into the blender. So I'm just going to use a slotted spoon so I don't get all the oil with the tomatoes. And now I'm going to put the peppers in. So the blender jug is now full. Now I've got the tomatoes and peppers in. So I'm going to mix them up together first, and then if there's not room, I'll put some aside while I add some of the beans and the basil. So to fit this all in our blender, I'm going to split the rest of the ingredients in half, and I'll put the other half in a saucepan, and then I'll mix that afterwards. So the next thing I'm going to put in is a handful of basil, 1 tin of cannellini beans, 2 tablespoons of tomato puree, and 1 tablespoon of tamari soy sauce. Now the recipe does call for 4 mugs of water or stock. I don't actually think it needs that much, so I'm going to put in a little bit of water, maybe half a cup, and see how that goes.